We alive. That's crazy. Whoa. Wow. All right, sick. Sick. Hi, everybody.
Hi everyone, how are you doing today?
I am over here. Well, how you doing today? How you, buddy? How goes? Okay, we're just waiting for Discord to load so I can see chat. There we go. Bump bump ba ba. Gonna do some quick editing. Talk about stuff. Talk about all the cool spoilers. I'm super excited about this. I'm good. I'm good. Just vibing, hanging out. We're fist deep into the spoilers for Flesh and Blood and for The Hunted. Super excited about the new stuff that's coming. What else? It's almost Christmas. So like that's cool. I have to work tomorrow and then I get kind of an almost 4-day weekend, barring the fact that I have to work for 4 hours on Christmas Eve, but that's fine. Half day, I'll take that. Snow here in Boston. Oh, dude, I'm sure Boston's getting rocked. You can only imagine. Tends to be that way. That northeast part of the U.S. is. Oh well, yeah, Boston, Massachusetts. I'm like, I think that's Massachusetts. I can't remember. My geography, geology. Quick, what's the difference between geography and geology? Geography is what I'm thinking of. Geology is like the study of rocks. That's what it is. Geography, maps. Geology, rocks. Hell yeah, it does. Yep. More intelligent than I'll tell you that much. Okay. Oh, that's right. I gotta look at all this here too. Let's see. I'm looking over some stuff for the Discord. If anybody in the Flesh and Blood Colorado Discord needs anything. Cool. That's all set there. Little man. Little boy. It is contagious. Let me tell you, I don't know what it is. I think it's just because, like, I think I might need to, like, lay off the caffeine for about, like, a week, maybe a month. Because I'm getting more and more tired when I drink caffeine and not, like, I don't get, like, a ton of energy. So, I had a cup of coffee literally early this morning at like 10:30. Didn't do anything for me. Still tired. I got a coffee at 4:30. So literally like 5 hours ago. And that coffee lasted me from 4:30 until 10 minutes ago. I think I finished it in the and we got these sick mugs at work. These like thermos mugs that I don't know what they have. They must have some kind of like heat, like temperature pack at the bottom of the mug because like this thing was insulated. This thing is insulated. I mean, this coffee stayed hot from 4:30 and was still hot when I drank it at 9:30. I mean, it was like room temperature, but it was not cold, right? And so I think it was a really, really cool thing. Well, it wasn't cool. It was hot. Coffee was hot. Okay, so we're good there. Let me just make sure I'm double checking some stuff. The locals. Uh Katsu. It's a bunch of TCG for Colorado, not just Fab. Excuse you, little boy. Hey, 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 hey. Who who told you that you could do that? You attacked me. You attacked me, little man. You attacked me. He's like, I just want to be on your shoulder, Dad. That's why I'm screaming. Yeah, I know. Don't worry about it. I get it. Yeah, there you go. Say hi to all your fans, Bubba. Say hi to your fans. Do you see him just like you should have seen it. He used to like put his paw up on top of like the arm of the chair to like let me know and be like, "Hey, I kind of want to go up there and hang out." Now he just doesn't care. He's just like, yeah, you don't have your arm down there. I'm just going to come up. I'm getting up there." And he just hops up on top of me. And it would be great and it's fine. The problem is that currently his claws are quite long. So when he has to catch himself whenever he jumps up, it goes right into my skin. So good job, me. I love doing that. Anywho. So there were interesting. So with this here, I should probably like let people know. There are some new spoilers for cards. Okay, this isn't helping. I don't want that. I want just this picture opened in a new browser. Oh, what, Bubba? Now you're not comfy? That's crazy. Now you're not comfy? Yeah, you want down now? After walking all the way up here, you want down? He wants to figure out what's going on with the mic. You want to figure out what's going on with Mike, Bob? You say hi? Go and say hi. You want to say hi? Go on, give him a meow. Give him a meow. Go on, do it. Oh, whoa, oh, wow. Wow. He's got murder in his eyes. You can see him. See him. He's got murder in his eyes. He's ready to kill. Aren't you, Bubba? Aren't you, little man? Yeah? You good, bud? You just trying to scope out the situation? And go back up there? Are you good? I don't even know. I don't even know. What are you doing? What are you doing? Here, you want to look at a flesh and blood card? Here. So this is your hand. This is what you're working with. Yeah, oh yeah, that kind of nice. This is Bolt of Courage. You have to play this. When you play this, you charge a card, and then you do the thing. I'm still trying to figure out if I want to play. I think I'm going to hold off on playing new. I think I'm just going to play Vincent for a long while, and then when Arachne comes out, I'll probably just buy all the stuff for Arachne. Which, speaking of, mind you, let me go ahead and do this real quick because we got access to 2. Count them 2. See if we can just get them all on here, huh? Do some speculating. Some speculating. We don't need to get the marbles all up here. I think they're probably somewhere else. What's up? How you doing, Jonathan? How the hell are you? Then we need to take a look at this card. Okay, so boom. You see this shit? So you probably can't see this shit. Hold on. That's a little bit better ish. You can probably bring it out a little bit further. Okay, buddy. You calm down now. You getting all kinds of messed up. So Arachne Marionette, new hero, Flesh and Blood. So far we know 5 out of the 6 Agents of Chaos. We're going to learn the 6th tomorrow, probably, more than likely, if they keep this trend up. We're going to learn the 6th and then probably some other cards tomorrow. And that'll be pretty high because, okay, are you good? You want to get down? Whoop it down. So, with Arachne Marionette, I think this is going to be probably my new assassin. So, one of 2 things this is. First, it's an assassin. I like the class a lot. Second, though, it's a talented assassin. And that is why I'd rather play this over regular Arachne or Azuri, is because this assassin does insanely good. So, got the substation I was working on in service today. Super crunched on time, and I had to go into service before the 31st. Utility lost all the money. Oh, wow. Dang. Well, see, you're a hero. And you know what that means? You get a raise. You should be getting a raise, Jonathan, for how much you do. So, Arachne Marionette, right? New assassin hero. I think this is pretty cool. You have your attack with stealth that are attacking a marked hero get +1. And when it hits, this gets go again. And then at the end of your phase, and at the beginning of your end phase, if an opponent is marked, you become a random agent of chaos. The agents of chaos are none other than Arachne Orbweaver currently, Arachne Redback, Arachne Funnelweb, Arachne Tarantula, and Arachne Black Widow. The last one will be Arachne Trapdoor, which we still don't know what it does. Pizza pie. At least some food for that thing. That would be nice. So we had them released like this. So with all of these guys, essentially what happens is at the beginning of your end phase, if an opponent is marked, you become a random agent of chaos, which means you become one of these random guys here. So, or one of these random like Arachne versions of themselves kind of deal. So what I wanted to talk a little bit about is each one, its effects, and how they're going to be able to affect the overall game plan for these. Yeah, I'm also digging these assassins. I think these are sick. So, Arachne Black Widow, arguably, personally, insanely hot for no reason. Arachne Black Widow. Once per turn attack reaction, discard an assassin card. all Agents of Chaos so far have this exact ability. As an attack reaction, you can discard an assassin card and then you do something. Black Widow says target assassin attack gets +3, and if it has stealth, it gets when it hits a hero, they banish a card from their hand. So assassin attack gets +3. If it's got stealth, it gets a thing. So stealth assassin cards are important. Same here. Arachne Tarantula. Whenever a dagger you own hits a hero, they lose 1 life. And then once per turn attack reaction, you can discard an assassin card and target dagger attack gets +3. So if you swing with a dagger, you can give it +3 by discarding an assassin card. And then whenever a dagger you control hits a hero, they lose a life. So that's pretty good. Then we move on over to Arachne Funnel Web. Arguably probably one of the coolest designs of these Agents of Chaos. Discard an assassin card. Target assassin attack gets +3. If it has stealth, it gets when this hits a hero, banish a card in their arsenal. So arsenal disruption on any assassin attack. Now, mind you, again, +3 on blue stealth cards like Bonds of Agony and Persuasive Prognosis and Double Trouble. Those are going to be pretty good effects because especially those stealth cards that care about attack reactions, like Bonds of Agony is about to go up. Probably have to run them. So fun fact, actually, Jonathan, you do have to run them all, and they're tokens, which means they do not count towards the deck count. So you have to run all 6 tokens if you are playing Arachne Marionette. So if you're playing this Arachne, you have to have all 6 tokens of these Agents of Chaos. So pretty interesting stuff. I like that they're forcing you to have all 6 because I could only imagine, like, if you just ran Arachne Funnel Web and Black Widow, like, this is Arsenal Disruption, this is Hand Disruption. If you just ran both of these and it was like, cool, okay, get to hit the hand, get to hit the arsenal. Exactly, you're playing with 86, right? And, like, these are all demi heroes that, like, I don't think there's a way to, like, interact with them to, like, destroy them, as far as I know. And I think that's really what it is like, we don't, at the end phase, at the beginning of the end phase, they return to the brood. So you're essentially only one of these versions of Arachne for a turn. And then you have to return to it. And that's the other thing too, is you have to have a marked opponent. So if your opponent does not get marked at the end of Arachne's turn, you don't transform. So it's not like it's a guarantee that you're going to get into one of these all the time. Arachne Redback, once per turn attack reaction, discard an assassin card. Target assassin attack gets +3, and if it has stealth, it gets go again. So instead of Arachne saying stealth that are attacking a marked hero get +1, and when this hits get go again, is that's just like, okay, cool, an additional +1, and when it hits, it gets go again, not an end of the world. But then you take a look at this, and it's like once per turn attack reaction, discard an assassin card, target attack assassin attack gets +3, and if it has stealth, it gets go again. Like, it just gets it. So you can give it +3 go again by discarding an assassin card. And then we finally also have today's reveal of Arachne Orbweaver, which is the weirdest one out of all of them so far, because this one has an entirely new card or token set up on this. There is the Graphene Chelicerae. Now, what I know of is that graphene is like a metal, and chelicerae are like fangs for spiders. It's their fangs. And so you essentially, in this situation with Orbweaver, Graphene Chelicerae cost you one resource less to activate. So we don't know whether or not these are going to be the daggers that are going to be played, but this is effectively, they're going to cost 1 less. Whatever the hell this thing is, it's going to cost 1 less. And then once per turn, instant speed, not a reaction, but instant speed. You can discard an assassin card, equip a Graphene Chelicerae token, or Chelicera, I think it's Chelicera token, your next attack with stealth this turn gets +3. So you get whatever this token is, and then your next stealth attack gets +3 at instant speed. So this can be done in after like D-reacts, or after like we've passed reactions. You can at instant speed discard it to get +3 onto a card. Now it counts as an instant and not as an attack reaction. Every one of these have been attack reactions, but this is an instant. So very interesting. The other thing to note is that the health of Arachne stays at whatever this Arachne's health is. So whenever they switch over to these guys, they all keep the same health as this hero. So there's no like swapping between health or whatever, but it's going to be very cool. I think it's a very fun mechanic. I don't know. I think it'll be, I think it'll be a fun thing to play, right? I think we need to know more about what the chaos like commons and uncommons do, and if they're just like all mark things. Because I don't imagine the chaos talent is going to be strictly based around marking individuals. I don't think that's going to be like the thing. I imagine there's just going to be, if we look at Fabrary, right? If we look at marked, if we do mark. So we have all these things. These are fodder for limited. Claim Vengeance is Draconic Instant. These are your contracted hit a marked hero named Fang. Lay low. If you are marked, you can't play this. It's a defense reaction for 3. This is limited fodder. If the attacking hero is marked, their next attack gets -1. But there's no way that specifically says mark. So it's interesting. So I'm curious why this came up as mark. Oh, landmark, I see. But yeah. So right now we have no way to know how an assassin is going to mark their opponent. Because all marked does is it says, okay, you're marked until an opponent hits you. So as long as you are in that status, Arachne is going to transform. But if you let them hit you, they don't get the value. So it's almost like a weird wager thing in that regard, where marked is really cool, but like if you let any of Arachne's daggers hit you and it just says, okay, cool, you hit. Now I can just block the rest of your turn and not mark you, or I won't be able to be marked. So I don't know. It's an interesting concept, because like you have these guys too, right? Syndra cares about whenever you hit a marked hero. So obviously marking people are probably going to be generic. If I were to guess, I imagine the ability to mark a hero is going to be generic, because Draconic heroes need to mark other things. And Draconic heroes can do that by doing things like Proclaim Vengeance. You can mark target opposing hero, and if it happens to be Arachne, you gain a resource. But this is a Draconic instant that allows you to mark your opponent. So I don't know. And this is whenever you hit a marked hero, create a fealty. Whenever you hit a marked hero, create a fealty. So this is whenever you're attacking a marked hero, you get buffs to your attacks. So it's a very interesting, I don't know, it's a very interesting layout. I think that there is a lot of flavor around these, which is really cool. But I think we just don't know enough. Like everything that's going to be after everything in this area right here, this 168 to 235, that shit is going to be all good assassin stuff. So I'm very, very curious to see how that's going to turn out. But anywho, I am going to go ahead and I am going to edit And so in order for me to edit, I'm going to actually be going ahead and just not sharing my screen. And I'm not going to bore you with looking at the edit because that's crazy. So instead, what I'm going to do, what are we doing this time? We'll just hang out. You guys are just gonna hang out with me. That's all it is. But yeah, I don't know. I think the assassin stuff's gonna be really cool. I hope that the draconic stuff is so awesome compared to this cool chaos stuff, because I just don't feel like it's going to be. I don't feel like it's going to be enough. You know, like I feel like a lot of this chaos stuff is just like most of the community is like, this is sick. I love everything about this. Like I only want to do this. But then you have like draconic stuff, which no offense to draconic stuff, I love playing draconic heroes, but when it comes to draconic stuff, it's pretty much just, does it have the draconic keyword on it? If it does a thing. Or like insert X amount of things that are draconic in a combat chain, you get X bonus. So I guess that's where that like loyalty comes in, is like the more things you play that are draconic, the more you are being loyal to your emperor and creating those things. So that makes sense to me, but yeah. So that's kind of fun. But I wish I had like a thing for everybody to do while I edited. Feel free. We can just like chit chat. I don't mind doing any of that. This arachne could still run regicide. This arachne could still run regicide. Yes. If your opponent, and let's be honest though, right? Like, if your opponent is Fang or Syndra, and Fang or Syndra, let's just talk like from a competitive standpoint. If Fang or Syndra become top tier heroes in Flesh and Blood, top tier heroes, like better than the MST heroes, if they become that good, Arachne can simply just say, cool, I'll run my one copy of Regicide and a few extra attack reactions. I will then go ahead and wait till the end of my game, and then I will come in and I will swing at you for, yeah, I think it comes in for 4. What does it come in for? Maybe 3? Regicide. Comes in for 3. But if it can't be defended by cards with the same name as cards in the defending hero's banish zone. So that's where things get a little kind of like weird, right? Is that if you spend most of the game going through playing things like Bonds of Agony, freaking Bonds of Attraction, you've got all the stealth, banish a card, Art of Desire Mind, Art of Desire Body, and you're just banishing cards left and right. If you're doing stuff like that, that's going to be incredibly powerful for you, because that means that you're not going to get to banish cards like New does, but you are still going to be able to banish the top card of the deck and maybe even a card from hand if you end up getting that there. So it's going to be interesting. Not to mention the fact that there are new contract cards that are going to be happening. So his banish abilities don't seem really well to maximize it. Well, yeah, it's definitely not like maximized, but I mean, let's be honest, right? Like, we take a look at, if we take a look at the assassin cards real quick, if we take a look at not the contract stuff, these guys all banish on hit, and then you draw a card, gain a life. Then you have Bonds of Agony. This card is insane. Like, this is good. Bonds of Agony is good. You also have Bonds of Attraction in blue or in red. These banish 2 cards if it hits. 1 card from the top of the deck, 1 from the graveyard, which allows you to pick from there. Bonds of Memory does the same thing, except you don't really gain a life. You just, because you're not ever going to get a card with the same name, really. So this is what it is. You could theoretically, if contract cards become like an insane thing, you could play Coercive Tendency, but this isn't going to really do much banishing. Double Trouble, this card's going to be fucking gas in this deck. Gas. Because, like, in a perfect situation, you're running things like Justinic, right? And Justinic is another perfect attack reaction that costs 0 to bump up these blues. You can play more blues in the deck so you can pay for things. You got Desires of Flesh. Hits a hero, banish the top card of their deck. You got things like Eradicate you could theoretically run. Or you can pump up Eradicate to like 10. And if your opponent doesn't block a whole lot, you can banish 6 cards from the top of their deck and gain some silver. Infiltrate's interesting still. Like, this is still wild. You may play it until the end of your turn. This, it's good, but you still have to pay for the cost of the card. So it sucks into like Guardians and stuff, I think. But Justinic's super powerful. You've got, obviously, Leave No Witnesses, a powerful card. You've got Persuasive Prognosis. This is great. This card does not do much, but if you pair this with any one of the Arachne, like the red, if you pair this with any of Arachne's attack reactions in the Agents of Chaos, this pretty much becomes a 7. It was a 2-card 7 with probably Go Again, on hit Destroy Arsenal, or on hit banish a card from your hand, or some other effect, right? So Pick to Pieces red, pretty good if you're just banishing 1 card to give it 7, effectively. And it can't be prevented, so it's really good into Enigma still. What else? That's pretty much it. Excuse me, golly. The only downside for playing Arachne is you don't get access to things like Siren's Call, which sucks, and you don't get access to things like Mask of Recurring Nightmares. Those are really good. But you could play things like Spreading Plague. Not a terrible thing to do. And it is an attack reaction that only costs you 1. Can give you some Blood Rot Pox. This is an attack reaction, and this is effectively just like Justinic, but for daggers. And I think the daggers are going to have stealth on them. I'm curious how this is going to work. Because it says choose one or both. Target dagger attack gets +3. And target card defending an attack with stealth gets -3 this turn. So I'm assuming either the daggers are going to have stealth, or this is just a choose your own thing, right? Like, you can use it to do -3 on something, or you can give +3 to a dagger for a specific situation. Yeah, so I think there's a ton of value in like the cards that we currently have, but obviously there's going to be new Majestics that are going to be in the set. But I think the fact that we get to use things like Bonds of Agony, which is going to be huge, right? Because imagine you have to do 3 attack reactions. 1 can be from the Agent of Chaos, and then you can have 2 other 0-cost attack reactions, whether that be in your arms or your equipment, or some other place. And you can have bonds come in for like 10 Go Again, is some nonsense. Like, probably not too much else that's happening there, but even if your next card is just like Leave No Witnesses, or, you know, you can play Justinic, right? Because bonds and Persuasive Prognosis with Justinic is really good. So it is one of those things. I think I'm very excited to play this deck so I can just like rip cards from my opponent's hand, or not from their hand, but I can rip a bunch of other stuff too. I think unique daggers due to one of the demi heroes only using. Yeah, and I mean they're gonna want. I guess in the situation, really, it's like, are those daggers going to be the best? Because if a dagger has stealth, then it matters, right? Like a dagger with stealth matters. But I'm not sure if it's going to be, if that even happens, right? Because the only one of these Agents of Chaos topple that really care about daggers is Arachne. And whenever a dagger you hit, you own hits a hero, they lose 1 life. And then you can discard an assassin card to have target dagger attack get +3. So it doesn't have to be any specific dagger, unless you're talking about Orb Weaver, in which we still don't really know what Graphene Chelicera is. We only can assume that it's Steel Fang, effectively, right? And I think if we're thinking from the flavor text of an Orb Weaver, it's probably something that we can equip to essentially make it so our opponent is only able to do like an action on their turn or something. Because when you think about an Orb Weaver is really, really good at spinning the webs around their prey. So it might be something there. We don't exactly know, though. We just don't know. But I think that's really what it comes down to, is we just don't know. But I like to know. I would love to know. All right, so bear with me. I've turned off my desktop audio because I don't need you guys hearing my voice and then also my voice. So I'm here hanging out. I can still see all your guys' chat and everything, so feel free to keep talking. Hopefully you guys are having a good night. I'm trying to like get through one more day. I just have tomorrow. Tomorrow is like my one more day I got to get through for work. And then we're in a significantly better spot, and then it's the holiday, which I still haven't bought anything for anyone. So nobody's going to be getting anything this Christmas because I'm not going to get it in time. So it is what it is. But yeah, so now you guys get to hang out with me while we just kind of do some quick editing here. I'm going to get a new keyword for the hunted specialization. Probably not. No. I wouldn't imagine so. I'd imagine, I'm curious if it's going to be a weapon, right? Because like I wouldn't think that every one of these heroes is using the same dagger and that dagger just says mark, right? Because at that point it's a generic. They're going to make a generic dagger that says when this hits a hero, mark them. But you also want to think about the fact that like stealth is probably going to be printed on the assassin daggers. I think there's going to be draconic daggers and there's going to be assassin daggers. So that's the two things. You're going to have draconic daggers and assassin daggers. Both of those daggers are going to be, they might say mark a hero, right? But I think the marking capability, it doesn't make sense to mark an opponent by hitting them. It makes sense to play an instant, like a chi, to mark your opponent. Because if you hit them, the mark goes away. So it doesn't make any sense to hit them to mark them and then hit them to unmark them. But maybe I'm wrong, right? I'm not entirely sure on how that sets up. Any predictions for the last Arachne? The last Arachne is Trapdoor. If I were to give out hope to give Arachne like the best possibility they could, I would like to think that Trapdoor says essentially discard an assassin card in the defense reaction step and target assassin card blocking gets +3 defense. If I were to guess. Now, that's crazy, mind you, because it doesn't make any sense. Because why wouldn't you just block with that card, right? It's going to go to the grave anyway. Why wouldn't you just block with that card? But it does allow you to get over things like big dominated attacks and things like that. So, you know, it's called Trapdoor. Like Arachne Trapdoor is the last one we have. And so either Trapdoor Spider is going to be like, give your opponent a, you know, an ailment, right? Or something of the sort. But I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure. I don't know that, I don't know what it could even possibly be. But I like to think that Trapdoor is going to be, I don't know. Right. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to be I think it's going to be something, obviously, like we know that every single one of these cards have said discard an assassin card. So we know that at least in that realm, that's what we're dealing with here, is that. So, you know, I don't know that it's going to be, what do you call it? I don't know that it's going to be anything different than that, but I do believe that it is going to be something. I don't know. I'd have to like, because they all give +3, right? Top card mill yet? Yeah, it's true. I mean, it's not banish the top card of your deck, right? Because surgical extraction gets card from hand. Leave no witnesses gets card from banish zone. Eradicate is X number of cards from the top of your deck. So that could be the case, right? But if I'm paying all that extra just to give an on hit, another on hit, I don't know that it's entirely worth that there. So, okay, let me just scoop past all this. This video is really easy to edit because I effectively just get to go, okay, cool. Okay, I'm listening to myself on my edit, so yeah, I don't know, Dastern. I think it'll be. I don't know. No, I don't know that they will. I don't know that. I don't know, because like there's a world in which they do, right? There's a world in which they do, except for the fact that Coercive Tendency really cares about contract cards. And I don't believe, because we've seen 5 out of the 6 Agents of Chaos, and then also like Arachne themselves, they have stealth printed on everything. So I don't believe that we are going to see Coercive Tendency played in Arachne Marionette. Now, that being said, there may be new contract cards that come out for the other Arachne to play, Arachne Huntsman, from Dynasty, right? Because we already know that there are contract cards that are in the set. Exactly. Yeah, that are contract. So while I think that Coercive Tendency has a place, it only has a place in Arachne Huntsman. That's it. This Arachne Marionette, probably not going to run it. And the reason being is because unless stealth and contract are continuously in one thing, if there's like a ton of contract majestics that also have stealth printed on them in this set, then that's probably how it's going to be. I just realized I was like shit in my beard. Why did any of you tell me? I think the Draconic Dagger is royal. I don't think it's royal. I think it is a Draconic Dagger. And I would imagine Fi can use it. Shit, I'd imagine Dromai can use it. And that's the ticket. That's how we really gotta take a look at that. Imagine a royal dagger. There's no reason for it to be royal. And that's the thing, right? There's no reason for it to be royal. Because it could be royal, right? You could have a thing where it's like, if your hero is royal, it's a Draconic Dagger, but like if your hero is royal, it gets, mark your opponent. But again, there's that on hit of like, is it going to be marking? Are we marking on hit or are we marking through another ability? You know, there's not a whole lot of answers in that regard. And I'm hoping we're going to get those soon, especially with the final release of the last part of Arachne. I'm assuming soon we'll get to know how to mark an opponent. This is exactly how, and like we know how we mark an opponent, right? Because there's a Draconic instant that quite literally just says mark opposing hero. But if that hero is Arachne, gain a resource. Could that possibly be useful in constructed? Probably not, because it's an instant, it doesn't block, and it marks. And only two heroes in the classic constructed world are Arachne. Because you have Arachne Huntsman and you have Arachne Marionette. So only two. There are there's Arachne Slip Through the Cracks, 3 adult Arachnes. But there's young Arachne, there's Arachne Web of Deceit, there's Arachne Solitary Confinement, and then there is that's it. They're 3 young too. So, but that is pretty much entirely the case there. There's a lot of different ones, but Draconic, I think the warrior stances will be redundant because Ninja doesn't have ways to give them go again. They need to have go again in the text. I mean, or it could be like, flick a dagger. Like you have an ability where like you can just like flick a dagger or something, right? Because Ninja, in Ninja's perspective, like they could have go again. But like, I think what do the warrior stances do? What now? That is, you have agility stance, which gives them go again, right? But that's if that just does that, right? Where the hell is this card? At the start of your turn, destroy this, then your dagger attacks get go again this turn. So theoretically, like the daggers shouldn't have go again. Like at all. So unless there are 2 kinds of daggers, maybe there's a stronger like 2 power dagger that doesn't have go again, and then a 1 power dagger that does. Like that could be a thing, but like this strictly says in warrior, your daggers don't have go again. They're not going to get go again. And then you also, flurry stance, starting your turn, destroy this. You may attack with each dagger you control an additional time this turn. So, this is another power move here effectively. So, but Fealty Pump Dagger, it makes sense for Fang Dump potentially. Yeah. I think because then that's the other thing, right? That's why I don't know that Fang's going to be super. This is what I'm saying, right? We are seeing a lot of hype for Arachne right now, and not a lot of anything for Fang or Syndra. And when these start coming out, we're going to start seeing more and more of the pieces come together. But like right now, looking at Fang's ability, this sucks. If you control 3 or more fealty tokens, dagger attacks cost you 1 resource less to activate. So unless there is a powerful dagger that does not have go again, then you can get a bunch of fealty and then play an agility stance at the beginning of your turn, or pop an agility stance at the beginning of your turn, then you might have a turn in which you're able to swing dagger, 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 right? 4 daggers with agility stance and with flurry stance. You can come in with all that, and you don't have to pay you have to pay like a blue. But we don't know. We just don't know. And this is crazy too, that I just noticed. Provoke. This is a hunt card. This is not a freaking expansion card. This is in the set. I don't know why I thought it wouldn't have been, but that's cool. Just Stance should be bad. It probably is bad. I mean, it is probably bad. Don't get me wrong. I think if there's a world in which your turn is like combo, right? I mean, you could play power, flurry, agility, pass. Right? If you get the rainbow of flurry, agility, power, and then at the beginning of your turn, play a pump for your daggers, and then swing dagger for 4, dagger for 4, dagger for 4, dagger for 4, on hit, do some other nonsense, come in for, pump them with attack reactions or whatever, then they could come in for a lot more. But right now, like if we take a look at these compared to the other daggers that currently exist for Warrior, right? You've got Quicksilver Dagger. That's the only one. Quicksilver Dagger. You pay 1 to attack with it, and if another weapon you control has gained go again this turn, Quicksilver Dagger has go again. I'm going to be entirely honest. I would not be surprised that this gets a reprint in the set. If this is the Warrior Dagger, that makes a little bit more sense, because if another weapon you control has gained go again this turn, this will have go again. So you can just play Quicksilver Dagger, give it go again with another card in there, and then attack with Quicksilver Dagger. But I imagine, again, the cards are going to be Draconic. It makes so much more sense from a limited perspective to have 2 daggers, maybe 3 with a third weird, interesting cost. 2 daggers. One set of daggers being Draconic, the other set of daggers being Assassin or Chaos Assassin specifically, because these daggers you're probably not going to want to have run in new, for instance, right? So token rare and majestic daggers. So if you get so there probably is not going to be a majestic dagger. But if there is a majestic dagger, if you pull it, you can run